How's it? What's up? My name's Quint.
Hey, I'm Shans. Welcome to our Real Life podcast.
Now, this podcast is all about us being real as Christians. So you need to sit back and enjoy it with us. How's it, everyone? We're here with our renewed version of our podcast. And I wanted to start off this by actually asking Shanti,
Yes.
how are you doing?
If I'm being honest, Quince, I've been trying to guard my heart lately because I've been finding myself in a season of suffering.
Yeah, I witness with that. Somewhere in my spirit, I feel like I've been through that suffering before.
Yeah. What helped you?
I think fellowship
Yes.
with fellow believers.
Okay.
Listening to worship music, not secular
Yes.
music.
Okay.
Worship music.
And when you say fellowship, do you mean like in a small group
Or a cell group,
or connect group,
Bible group,
prayer group,
accountability group,
worship group?
one of those groups. And then when we break bread in that fellowship group, I found myself once drinking of the cup, eating of his body,
Okay.
drinking of his blood. Really helped me.
And do you feel like in these groups you were getting meat, not just milk?
Very important that when they give the word,
Yes.
it's a solid word.
Okay.
It's about meat.
All right.
And he really brought it on.
Yes.
The other night in fellowship in group, we were praying.
Yes.
And I just heard a prayer and I just felt like I needed to echo
Okay.
that prayer. And then
Yeah.
someone else echoed my prayer.
Okay.
And then I echoed the echo of his echo, of her echo.
And did everybody witness together?
It was lit. It was on fire.
Okay.
It was a burning.
Did you feel like there was a baptism of the fire
Or
in
even
that moment?
baptism of the Spirit.
Okay.
And we were talking about baptism of water.
Okay.
And then I
So
felt
burying the old and resurrecting the new.
die to self.
Yeah.
So important.
And all you need is faith, hope, and love. But love is the greatest.
And faith, like a
Yes.
mustard seed. So,
Guys, we are not making fun. We are really not making fun. We kind of are, but what we wanted to really
Yeah.
just impress on your hearts that these words are kind of like Christianees.
yeah, and just right there, she used, we want to impress on your heart.
Yes.
So what we're trying to do is
Comes naturally.
we want to show you that sometimes we as Christians know these words and we've read it in the Word and they're important to us. And that's
Yes.
why we want to use them. But what happens is sometimes we overuse it.
Yes.
And then when there's someone that's not a Christian, they sort of walk with us and
They don't really know what you're talking about, and it's
what
a bit
is this?
weird.
And it does get a bit weird.
Yeah.
But for us, it makes sense.
Yes.
So I think if you go to a church and everyone's talking Christianese,
Yes.
it's almost like nobody knows what this guy or this girl is saying. You walk to the front of the church door and that guy's there to grab your hand. How are you today, my brother? First of all, you look at him. Not your freaking brother. My brother, my sister, I'm here. How you doing? Blessed. I pray today's service just gets to your heart. And when you walk out of here today, you'll be changed forever. We'll see you next week for baptism. Sometimes that's our heart, meaning that's what we want for people, but it can be almost making them feel like they're out.
Yeah.
So I think we've got to be careful of this. So what we were thinking is we'd take some time,
Yes.
take a couple of words, and then we'd
Just break it down, make it basic and simple, easy to understand what we're actually meaning when we speak about these things.
Yeah, because for you, what makes sense? If somebody speaks about a long word that you don't feel like you belong because you don't understand it, what helps for you when they break it down? Simply.
Yes.
So let's get real and simple with this.
Okay.
So let's take one of the words that we used there, that word fellowship.
Yeah, we're going to kind of break down fellowship, breaking bread, communion, because they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But let's begin with fellowship. What does fellowship actually mean?
So for me personally, if I don't break that word down and get all serious about it and where the Greek word actually comes from, for me it means getting together. Yeah, in South Africa, let's go braai.
Yeah.
Let's get together. There's a game happening this weekend. Let's watch the game together.
Yeah.
It's simply getting together
And hanging out,
and hanging out.
spending some time together.
So where does the word fellowship come from? Just want to tell you, this is the moment I've been waiting for in this podcast, is to ask Shanti,
Yes.
where does the word fellowship actually come from?
Okay, let's first get it out there that I'm not Greek, okay, and neither are you.
I've fellowshiped
So
with a couple of Greek people before.
Yes,
I've
you
got
have,
friends
but you're
that are
not
Greek.
Greek. Okay. So the word fellowship actually is derived from the Greek word koi,
Yeah.
nonia, or koinonia.
Yeah. Keep going.
Okay,
Which one is it?
the main thing to take out of this is that this is defined as holding something in common.
Okay.
So,
So koinonia
yes.
means holding
Koi.
something in common.
So it's spelled K-O-I,
Yeah.
like koi
Yeah.
fish.
Yeah.
Then N-O for no.
Yeah.
Then N-I-A,
Okay.
nia.
Okay.
So put that all together, Quint, now that I've broken it down for you.
But as a Christian person that's been a Christian for quite a long time, surely you should know the Greek word for fellowship and you should know how to pronounce it
If
by
you
now.
studied Greek and
Yeah.
Hebrew, how's your Hebrew?
But to be a true Christian, surely you've been studying.
Okay, moving on. This word, by the way, is used in the New Testament over like 20 times.
There's 20 verses in the Bible
Yes.
where the word fellowship actually shows.
Yes.
So when you take a word that is repeated in the New Testament so many times, surely it's got to be important.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's encouraged. It's something that God would want us to do together, and there's a specific reason for that. But what does God actually say about fellowship? In Corinthians, he actually says that you were called into the fellowship of his Son, Jesus Christ our Lord, which basically means that we can share in this fellowship with God and then share in this relationship with God with other believers.
So it's
That holding that something in common, which is God, and your faith and your belief in him.
and what I love to do is throughout my life, before I was a Christian, before I gave my life, before I got saved, before I was born again, a whole lot of Christianese words, but they're important. I fellowshipped with people,
Spend time, hung out, chilled.
and we spoke about what we had in common. Now, fellowship with fellow believers, people that believe in Christ, people that are given them, we can speak about, let's just say, what's been happening in my life and how Jesus can help impact my life in that area. So, we've said this before, giving your life to Christ and becoming a Christian doesn't make life better, but it makes you better at life.
Yes.
So fellowship, you've got something in common with people and you just spend time with them.
Yeah. And then you can just speak about what you have in common. And I think fellowship is really great in terms of really building that relationship.
It builds that word unity,
Yes.
and unity means just that we're all in the same space. I heard someone say the other day, a good friend of ours actually said, often people are saying, spend time with like-minded people. But what we actually need to do is spend time with right-minded people. That's going to build a unity. That's going to help us grow. We're going to help others grow. And in this fellowship, that's what we're going to do.
And also keep each other encouraged. Because often trying to do the right things in a world where everyone's perhaps not doing the best things, it's very hard for you to kind of stay on that path of trying to do things better, that make you better at life.
So where do we fellowship?
So fellowship can actually just be anywhere. It can be wherever you guys can get together. It can be at somebody's house. It can be at a coffee shop. It can be at a sports match.
Okay.
Anywhere.
So where do you like to fellowship? Let's say you're going to meet a couple of girls and you're going to get together.
That's easy. Coffee shops.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's almost a Christianese thing to meet in a coffee shop.
Let's have coffee. Literally.
But it is a great place. You can go anywhere. You can go home. Let's just say for us guys, if we want to go out to one of the malls where there's go-karting going on, and the guys just go out and have a good time together.
Or even go watch a cricket match or a rugby match.
Sporting
There's time
events.
for fellowship. You can share in each other's interests. You can have fun together. So fellowship is not always just getting together to run through a Bible study.
Yeah.
It is also just hanging out, playing tempo bowling together, go watching movies together, just having fun together, but also there's room for, hey, this happened this week. Oh, okay, cool. How can I help you? Or, this helped me in this situation. And it's really just encouraging one another, coming together, building friendship, building relationships, but having fun together as well. That's very important about fellowship.
And I think you said something there that's important. Having fun, very important. But I think you said fellowship is not just getting together and having Bible studies. Because often Christians get into this, we're going to fellowship together, so we better do Bible study. Now, we're not saying you shouldn't, but you don't have to feel the pressure of having to do that all the time. Okay, so then with fellowship comes, we're going to get out together and we're going to have a meal together, or we're going to bride together, we're going to have time together. And then that word comes in, breaking bread.
Yes.
Which people sometimes are like, what the heck does that mean? They're going to get together in fellowship and they're going to break bread. So does that mean you sit around a table, you get a whole different loaves of bread, and you break that bread? Is that what it means? Because if I look at it literally, I think we're going to break bread means there's bread on the table, everyone's breaking bread.
And what's the point of it?
What the heck?
What are we breaking bread for?
So breaking bread is just a term that is used for sharing a meal together.
Yes.
So one of the things that everybody loves is sharing a meal together. And it's something that us, especially as South Africans, but around the world, people enjoy actually sharing a meal together.
Yeah. In the New Testament, you often hear of, when you read about the stories about Jesus, it's often at a meal or around a table or eating. So we come from my side of the family, which is a massive family, and we love going out to eat together. And that's basically breaking bread together. Everyone's relaxed, food is always good.
Let's just break that down for a moment, because my family, we always used to go out to eat, and it was like the clock started when you got in there. You got to order. No starters, order your main meal, order this, and you've got an hour and you're out of there.
Yeah, eat and go.
But with your family, it's like a 4-5 hour great time of fellowship together.
Yes.
So it's time where you're eating.
You catch up on what's been happening in each other's lives.
Yeah.
You speak about what's, the things that you're going through, or stuff that's up ahead, and it's just social.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to encourage anyone who's listening, or the breaking of bread is so important. So you as Christian people, you as saved people, you as people that want to go out there and be a disciple, meaning you want to go out there and evangelize in the world, how are you breaking bread with others? Not just Christian people. Because we can get into a habit of inviting just our Christian friends around because we've got a fellowship.
Yes.
What happens is people from the outside start seeing that as like a clique.
Yeah.
And they keep saying, all they do is they get together on their own. But we should be evangelizing, speaking the word of Jesus to others. So who are we breaking bread with?
And also it creates a relaxed environment.
Important.
Because people often don't, they know they're going to church. They know that there's going to be a sermon or something's going to be preached. Whereas if they're going to meet somebody somewhere, just at a restaurant or a bra, South Africans love to bra, then they're not expecting like this hardcore message, but it comes up in conversation, but in a very relaxed environment. So it's not, there's no agenda.
Yeah.
And it's just relaxed environments, and that often opens up people's hearts to hearing more about God and stuff, or people's experience with God, what they can share on what God has done in their lives and stuff. So I think fellowship is such a nice, relaxed environment to do that in, to evangelize.
And to break bread in the fellowship. And my encouragement or challenge almost to us, as well as anyone else, is who are you inviting around to your house? Are you opening up your house to anyone? Are you saying to anyone, it doesn't matter if they believe or don't believe, or if they're an atheist, or if they believe in energy or the universe, or just because they don't believe in what you believe in, does that mean you don't open your doors to them? Does that mean you don't make a meal for them? I think that's what makes us look like we think we might be better than others, is because people feel like, I can't go and have a meal with them because, maybe I'm not going to pray for the meal before. Maybe maybe I'm not invited to that house because they think they're better than us. No. I think that we should be inviting people in to have fellowship and breaking bread into our houses all the time.
And just to show people who Jesus is like, really. Because we are called to
be his hands and feet.
So by inviting people into your home and cooking them a meal and just opening yourselves and chatting and speaking is really just a gentle way.
Yeah.
But also it's showing the love of God, because that's what God does.
Yeah. Let's have a look at that word, breaking bread. And then the last word that we wanted to just discuss is communion.
Yeah, well, breaking bread in actual fact word comes from the Last Supper. So the Last Supper was when Jesus got his disciples together, his friends together that had been spending all that time with him.
Yeah.
And he got them together for what literally would be his Last Supper.
Yeah.
And that's where he broke bread and he drank wine with them. And he had told them that the bread would represent and be symbolic for his body that was going to be beaten the next day and broken so that we could be made whole. And then his blood was the wine that he drank with the disciples.
Okay, whoa,
and that would represent
stop,
forgiveness.
Stop.
Yes.
No, hold on. First of all, you said Jesus drank wine.
Yes, that's for another podcast.
Okay. Hold on. Second of all, you said he drank his own blood. You said to us,
the red wine represented his blood. Sorry,
makes
let me
sense.
clarify that.
okay, because I'm trying to figure out what she's trying to say. I'm only kidding around.
It's
with you.
Christianese, but I'm trying to break it down as simply as possible.
Yeah.
So the wine represented his blood
that he was going to spill
the next day on the cross when he was crucified.
And that's where communion comes
And that's
in.
where communion comes from.
Yeah.
And he asked that we would do this as often as possible
To remember.
to remember his love for us and what he sacrificed and did for us so that we could have a long life with him one day in heaven.
You see, you left out eternity. Well done.
Yes, I'm trying to keep it simple and not be all Christianese on you.
But you know what I really enjoyed about the way that you explained that is it truly means something to you. And you believe.
I do believe, yes.
That breaking of bread happened. And every time I take communion,
Yes.
and you take a wafer or a piece of bread, that is the symbolism of his body that was broken and bruised that you just said. And that cup, which is the wine or the grape juice
Yes.
that we take, symbolizes his blood that was spilt on the cross. And it's just remembering what he did for us.
Yes.
So taking communion goes from this religious thing that people have seen before and feel like they're not good enough to do, to actually being something I want to do.
Yes.
Something that is so beautiful, something that is so important, reminds me of what Jesus did for me. So that's where breaking of bread comes from.
Yes.
So we need to have fellowship. We need to break bread.
Yes.
We need to have communion.
And all these things are important for very specific reasons. And at the end of the day, I think the most important thing is it's building relationships with people that we have something in common with.
Yeah. And I love spending time
Yes.
with a lot of people. And I've met a lot of people in the Christian community that I love spending time with. People have got different thoughts to mine. People that have the same thoughts to mine. But no matter where they come from, how their days have been, we all have something in common. And that's Jesus.
Yes.
And that is what's so cool. So I just feel we started off laughing about those words a little bit and having a good little bit of fun about it. And I just want to see were there any words that you felt you might have left out there? Because there was, how about I feel like my vine is being pruned.
Yes.
Or I drank of his blood, we explained that. Or taking off the old, putting off the new. And it's a God
born
thing.
Again.
Are you born again?
Yes.
Listen, I wanted to ask you, what kind of music do you listen to?
Christian music?
Oh, is there a difference? I don't listen. Do you listen to secular music?
I actually don't.
Oh,
to
no?
be quite honest.
Okay,
like
so-
it's very rarely that, unless I'm at a wedding, then I'll listen to secular music. But
Okay, so what's secular music? What's Christian music?
Not Christian music.
Okay, so what's Christian music?
Praise and worship, when we're singing about God and how good He is.
And that's getting into the warfare.
Yes, because worship is warfare. And you're entering the battlegrounds and you're taking territory for God. And you're taking authority over the enemy and declaring.
You see, sometimes we can get serious about it.
Yes, we can.
But I know you mean it. And when we say these words, we're not trying to alienate anyone or try and make them feel like they don't belong.
And these words are important.
Yeah,
they are.
So I guess hopefully that made a bit of sense to you. We are going to go and speak about a couple of these words as we go through the next few podcasts. We're going to take a couple of these words, try and break them down, make them simple.
Easy to understand.
Yeah. Yes. So that others can understand what we're trying to say. Yeah. But it was good fun being with you. Yes. Thank you, Shanti. Yeah. Thanks for explaining everything to us.
And you, Quinton.
Yeah. And I guess we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks.
It was. Keep it real, hey?
Can't wait till the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.